8 years ago, I was playing on just a laptop. It wasn't even a gaming laptop and it could barely handle games. In today's video, we're going to be going through the 8 years of progression I made to get to my setup that I currently have now. I started off just playing on a PS4. I was playing on a flat screen TV, and this was during Prime Fortnite. I didn't have a laptop at the time, and I didn't have a setup, nor did I have my own room. Eventually, I was finally able to have my own room, and this is when I first moved in. I didn't have much furniture, and the room wasn't completely finished, but as you can see, I made what I could out of it. I ended up just being on my PS4 a lot more. I kind of ended up using the laptop as sort of a monitor to have on the side while I played Fortnite on my PS4. This was also after I was able to get a monitor thanks to my mom, but shortly after, things started to look a lot better. I got a brand new desk and I was slowly starting to build a setup. And now here we go, and we start off when I started to make setup videos. So this right here was a video I made, my budget 13-year-old YouTube gaming setup. All I remember from this was my voice was really squeaky. I recorded it on a huge iPad, but I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't as bad as I thought looking back on it. I feel like my setup here was actually pretty good, man.
I really like
I mean,
the camera doesn't make it seem.
just look at this. I don't know what I was thinking starting it off with just having all the lights off and just having that tiny light bulb at the top with like a blue LED light. I was not the move. Man, Avengers poster. Turn the light on. Look at that gold headset. I got that from DD's. PS4 is under there still. That's the monitor I showed. Same keyboard I was using on that laptop right there. Man, I would say, you know, for the circumstances, my age, my, you know, how much money I had, I feel like I made good use of it. I feel like I did what I could. This is obviously pretty good, I would say. I'm still very grateful. I'm not trying to sound like I'm entitled or privileged or anything, but this is not as bad as I thought. But man, look at the bed. This is crazy. Moving on, we got my insane 14-year-old gaming setup. This is in 2020, and we're starting it off by looking at the wall once again, but instead of a blue wall, it's a red wall. Oh my god. So this I was very ashamed of. As you can see, I wrapped around an LED light all around the desk. Not supposed to do that. I don't recommend doing that. That's not the move. I got like a cheap gaming chair off of Amazon. It was very uncomfortable. I couldn't sit on it for more than a couple of hours, and I thugged it out because one, it was a gaming chair, and two, I was too lazy to send it back. So as you can see, there was like a little platform here that my laptop was on. That was actually a part of the desk. I ended up just unscrewing and taking it out so I can have more space, and I do think that was a good decision. This was around the time that I stopped using a laptop and actually had a PC. I think I ended up showing it in the video here.
Computer, yes, it's on the carpet, but like I don't have room on my desk. And like I guess like I can move the monitor more to the right and move everything to the side and then put it there, or just move it to the left and put it there. But
alright, so as you see, I'm yapping, but yeah, so I did get a PC. For some reason, I'm not sure why I didn't go too deep into it. I should have, because the last setup I was only on a laptop. Unfortunately, I don't really have much footage or pictures of the transition from a laptop to an actual official PC. What I ended up doing was selling my PS4 just to get the PC, and it wasn't the best part in it, but it did what I wanted it to do. If you take a look, I also upgraded all the peripherals, you know, a lot better mouse, good mouse pad, SteelSeries headset, Blue Snowball that I'm still using right now to this day. Here I was using the Royal Clutch. You know, overall I wouldn't say it was that bad, but still it's not my favorite. Alright, so here's the setup. As you can see, I have a red light bulb. Well, actually, no. I have a light bulb that has multiple colors with the remote. But here's the setup. Now, it hasn't changed too much from the last one. Completely different mouse pad, PS5, second monitor, different keyboard. Pretty sure it's a different headset here. Here's how it looked like with the light on. This was a huge jump from, you know, taking a look back at when I first moved into my own room. This was definitely something that I was happy with, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was my final room today. I ended up changing it again. Something about me is I just like change, but I would say I changed it for the better. This a fan. I can't sleep without a fan. I need a fan.
My deodorant. These are just weights that I use to hold
Yeah, to hold that up, insane.
the room aspect of it. Now we can go more into the setup. Now, looking back at my old videos, I don't know what I was thinking. I used to have something up here. I used to be on a laptop. Used to have a PS4. Let's see. Didn't have two monitors. I only had one monitor.
Yeah, so you get the gist of it. Now, moving on in the progression, we are gonna go take a look at the setup 2 years later in 2025. As you can see, this video is made in 2023. Let's go ahead and see how it is now. Alright, so we're not starting it off by looking at a wall anymore. Here we go. So I moved the album covers above my closet here. I added LED lights, which I think make the room a lot better than having it around the setup. Closets, you know, are actually organized and there's clothes and stuff in there now. I used to have a shoe rack in the way that was like right there. That is gone. Here's the setup. Now, at first glance, it does kind of look the same. I would say it's better. Desk is aligned differently. Brand new PC, completely custom built. Me and my friend Joseph built it. Actually, I would say he kind of built all of it. He did all the work. Very nice, very beautiful. Zoro. Ended up rearranging the room, so you know the bed used to be right here. Now is there's a TV and a dresser. I added some room decor. The fan that I can't sleep without is now on the floor instead of just on the desk. This is a different TV than the one I showed in the earlier videos. Same bed, same bed sheets. Nothing too much different. Some more stuff on the walls, you know, kind of just give the room character. This right here is a bin with snacks, but the lid's obviously over it. And then some waters that I have right here because you know I've been sick. I've been coughing a lot. I need water right on deck for when I'm chilling in bed. Right over here is my new headphones that I bought. Type mini fridge. I can't remember if that was in the old video, so you know I got that there. Here is something that I tried to help make my Wi-Fi better, which I think it did help with the Wi-Fi. Just you know, it's still garbage. So yeah, looking more into the setup, it's definitely come a long way. Not having my own room to playing on just a laptop, you know, playing on the kitchen table, playing in the living room, it was crazy. So here's the setup again, just in a closer look. I ended up getting speakers. I don't usually keep it on the rainbow thing. But yeah, so I think it's a lot better. This is just a random wallpaper I found on Wallpaper Engine. This is my new mouse, super light. Pretty much everyone has it though. Didn't forget about the console. You know, no more PS4, we got the PS5 right here. I would say, in my opinion, it's come a long way over the last 8 years. I'm very happy about where my room is at and where my setup is at. You have to understand, it may look like I have a lot of money just from this, and you know I probably am more fortunate than others, but my family and I, we are not in the best spot financially by no means. So just having all of this, I'm very grateful for. All of this was built slowly but surely, and a lot of this was all, you know, my work. A lot of this wasn't just, you know, given to me. I paid for this whole entire PC myself, paid for a lot of things just from saving up and, you know, having a job at such an early age. Also, my AirPods are not charging, man. It's GG's. I had this for, I'd say, 8 years as well. Thought I'd throw that in there. You know, it's been a while since I made a setup video / room tour. I'm sorry if it seemed kind of rushed. I just, you know, didn't really know what to dive into. Plus, I know a lot of you guys' like attention spans are cooked, so maybe this is probably the better method anyway. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Comment down below what you thought about my setup progression, and I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys. Peace.